Hello and welcome to my first annual Mid-Year WIP Parade. My name is Sadie, if this is the first time that we meet, and this is my floss tube where I talk about pretty much everything cross stitch. So if this is your first time meeting me, welcome. And for any people that have been following me, welcome back. I am really excited because I get to pull out all the WIPs that I currently have, active and inactive, at least since you've seen. And if you've been seeing me since January, there may be one or two that haven't been shown there. So this is just going to be a long video. We all know that these are long. I absolutely love WIP parades, and so I hope you guys get to enjoy it too. If this is your first time meeting me, because it seems like WIP parades gather a lot of different people, I am originally from Florida, and I currently live in Maine. I live in Bangor. I work up here, and I love it. It's not super bad in regards to like the cold and stuff that I got used to because I've traveled in different parts of the country. And I am very excited because the sun comes up around like 4:50 in the morning, and that makes me be much more active during the daytime and lets me stitch more. So, not going to talk about a lot of personal stuff. We've got lots of projects. I will just show the general bundle. I've got this one bag with projects, and then I've also got, it's not fully full, but it is a Tupperware full of projects as well. And each project bag likely has like 2 or 3 projects in it. When I last saw on Notion, because I try to use that as much as possible now as my place to log my works in progress, I think I have 21, which is not unusual. Like it's not as high as I would have anticipated it to be. I want to say I probably started out the year with like 12. I could be lying, but definitely we last checked is 21. And I don't want it to be super high. I would love to get my WIPs done because I love seeing the end product, but these are the projects that I've got, and I love the majority of them. You'll probably see a couple that I may make faces about. We'll see where we go. Okay. I am just drinking because I'm going to have to stay hydrated during this video if I'm going to be talking the whole time. Alright, we're just going to start pulling bags. And it is not in any chronological order. Let's go. So, some of these you may have already seen from my most recent video. But because it is a WIP parade, we're just pulling them out again. So, keep an eye on whether or not it's one that you've seen or not. But alright, first one that I've got. This is a project that I am trying to do, and it is Nora Corbett's Zodiac Series. I want to do all of them, and I'm grouping them all on the fabric per their elements. So the ones that I have are the fire elements starting, and the 2 that are on this fabric that I'm going to show you are Aries and Leo that are active works in progress. So this one's Leo. And this one is Aries. And I thought that I was going to enjoy Aries out of the 2, but I actually like Leo. That's the one that I've been wanting to work on more. I don't know why, but that's just what's been happening. So here is the project in all its glory. As you can see on the top is Sagittarius, and that one I completed back in November. So that's why it's not a WIP, but it is sharing the same fabric as my other 2 WIPs. So I will bring them up so that way you can see. So right, that one is the completed Sagittarius. And then on the left is Leo. So I got a lot of work on her this past week because I was on vacation. And she's looking so good. And then this one's Aries. And I actually started Aries first. But then once I started Leo, I just really gravitated towards her and kept on going. And this beautiful fabric is called Fire Dancer by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. Because I felt that it was very appropriate to symbolize their element as fire. And for this whole project, I do have all the fabrics chosen for the other zodiacs. And they're all colored based off of their elements as well. Likely, probably one of my goals for the year is to get both Leo and Aries done. And I don't know if it'll be a goal of mine to work on a set of 3 each year in general to be able to get the whole series completed. And I think doing 3 at a time isn't super daunting. That is my first one. Okay, and I'm seeing rogue threads coming around. Alright. I'll probably be making a mess around me, but we'll just keep on going. Alright, next one is the Vampirum Cell by Noctiflora. And this one, again, is one that I just recently worked on. I only pulled it out this past week. So I didn't do any more work from what you saw this past weekend. But this is what it looks like. And the fabric that it's on, I said it was dovestitch.com, which is the Etsy shop that I bought it from, but it's actually Fabric Flare, which made more sense because they seem to be the place that does a lot of printed fabrics, and this is a printed fabric, and it's called Damask. I liked that it kind of had that vintage type style, or Victorian style to it. I'm on part 4, and the most recent work I've done were on those black wings in the bottom, and then the beginning of a lip that's right here. So I'll pull her up. I absolutely love the writing on this Sal. The Sal has already been completed, but I'm very slow. I don't really do well with keeping up with different mystery Sals. That is just something about me, but I do try to get them done as I can. So these two have actually just had one project in them. We'll see how far it goes, because I know there are other ones that have multiple. Okay, next one, we'll do this Lone Rogue one. This one is a gift for a friend, and I'm still working on it as fast as I can. It is Endorphine, whoop, by Twin Peak Primitives. The person this is for is an absolute dog lover. And when I saw this come out in the Nashville Needle Marketplace, I immediately thought of them. And so far, this is what I got. So I started working on that bottom dog with the beige and light brown and getting in the jar, because it is pretty much full coverage. All the dogs inside the jar. They're so cute. They really are. They're pretty fast stitches to do the dogs. And you feel very, like you feel productive. You feel good because you get to finish the dogs pretty quickly. And it makes you feel like you're working on it super fast. This is, the fabric is Atomic Ranch, Weathered Stone, and it's a 28 count Lugana. That one I'm hoping to get done in the next day or two. Alright, and then in this bag, I've got Stone Roses. This is a Mirabilia pattern from 1995. that I know of. It's still in print. And I actually got it in the Under the Sea fabric store in San Antonio. And I bought the fabric that I'm about to show you. But I really liked her. I love the statue and the monochromatic look. And I wanted a stitcher, but on a crazy colorful fabric. And if some of you have been following me, you know that this fabric is crazy. And I got it at Under the Sea. It is Chloris, and it is a 28 count opal linen. And so, some of y'all have seen it, but this is a really big piece of fabric. So, I will show you here. Like, it's just so big. Right? And I'm gonna try to get up as close as possible. But that is where I am. I am usually a center starter, and the center for this project was her feet. And so I started around there, worked on all the fabric at the bottom. I've gotten to the edge of the project, and I've been working down to finish the fabric that is around the statue, but not starting at the rows. So like the horizontal rows, I'm just essentially finishing up here, and then I'm going to start working up. So that has been my plan. I just chug away, because as much as I do like the monochromatic look that she has, but it's a lot of white and beige. And there's only so much white and beige I can do at a time. But that is Stone Roses. I was saying I'm going to put Endorphine in with her. Okay. All right. We're just going to keep on going. This next one I started in the beginning of the month, in June, as my birthday start. And it is my first Chatelaine, not mandala, but first Chatelaine project. This one is Baroque Garden. So it is a very big piece. This is a huge amount of fabric, but I absolutely love it. I am in love. So all the bags but one that I have, I made myself. And I'm so happy with this one. It is so cute and like very Victorian-y, which I thought was very appropriate for Baroque Gardens. Like, I already kitted it, got the beads, got the specialty floss that I wanted, got it all done, and I just had that bag waiting for like 2 years until finally this June that I started it. So this is as big of a project as it is. Oh my gosh. So much fabric. This one I did a top center start. So I'm starting up at the arch. And it was fun when I was working on it. Wasn't too bad. Oh yeah, you're going to see lots of hanging threads and needles in my projects. But it was actually really good. I feel, for me, I am currently working on a long-term project as well from Ashley May, also known as Pinky the Pink or Make It Pink, and her projects are pretty big, and they have a lot of quarter, half stitches, 3/4, so much back stitching, a lot of detail. And I worked on a couple of her pieces before getting into Chatelaine, and for me, working on that much quarter stitching, back stitching, I felt like it prepared me for Chatelaine in that respect, to be able to do those types of stitches. And then from there, I know that the specialty stitches I will learn along the way. And I'm one where I either like ruminate or anticipate something and get worried and anxious, and then I delay it, right? Versus I just jump in like I wouldn't know the person. So with like Make It Pink, I had no idea of how many quarter, half stitches, black back stitching there was. I just said, I love that project and I'm going to start it. And I learned along the way what it involved. And I feel like I do well with that. But then I also do the anticipation stuff, which is why it took me 2 years to get to start the Chatelaine. So sometimes I feel like I just need to tell myself to just start it and we will figure it out. Because then that way we enjoy the journey. This beautiful fabric, I absolutely love it, is from Atomic Ranch, and it's called Frieze, F-R-I-E-Z-E, and it is a 28 count linen. It is about to be a big project. I always thought that I feel like I gravitate towards 32 count, but a decent amount of projects that I have are on 28. So I'm kind of surprised about that about myself right now. But that is my first ever Chatelaine, and I'm hoping not the last because I have a lot of those. All right, this one is not a whip. It's packed, but I'll show you because isn't it a cute project bag? Like, it's all dragons, and yeah, this is one of the ones I made too. I just like it. It needs to have a whip in it. It has a project being kitted up, but it doesn't have a whip. Okay, on to the next one. Here I've got two. One is for sure going to get done this year. The other one is going to take some time. So this first one is the Seasonal Mermaid Sal by Bella Filipina. And it is the one that has the seasonal mermaids on it. And these are mine. So I love it. Again, this one was from like last year, and I did not keep up with it. Originally, it was about 2 weeks, like 2 weeks delayed, which was pretty good. But then I just slowed down. The one that was getting me super anxious was Autumn because of the skin color. Like, she just looked really gray, wasn't my favorite, and it just made me hold off until finally this spring, I said, nope, I need to work on this because I need it to be done. And I did. Sorry, those are spring and summer. And then this one that I completed back in end of March, early April is Autumn. I did modify the skin color a bit using Lord Libidin's skin conversion, and I am much happier with it. But yeah, I have to still put in that corner mandala motif, right? Like this one here on spring. And I do have to write the words for the seasons on them, but I am converting them into Spanish because I want to write them in Spanish. And then my goal is to start the Winter Mermaid around, I don't know if it was either September or November, but I just want to be able to get her done by the time it's December. And that way I can work on the words and I can officially say that it is a finish. But this one, every time I get it out, I like it. I am very happy with it. I am so glad that I finally, like, again, got over my anxiety about how Autumn was going to look like and just did it. She turned out great. Now I can go on to Winter, and I know Winter will turn out great too. The next one that project shares is a doozy as well. And this one I have not worked on much. I'm just dropping threads as I go here. But it is the Nostalgia Tarot complete set by the Witchy Stitcher. And I am a sucker for series. I'm a sucker for sets. So I wanted to do it all. I then got a little overwhelmed with it, thinking, did I want it all on one piece, or did I want to make them individual, which Annie from Exo and the Needle, hey Exo, is planning to do them all individually and actually turn them into a tarot deck. And I thought of that too, of just making them each individual cards. But then I saw, Cross Stitching in Cambria? They just went to Summerween, and he is completely up to date. He's doing the full set, like I'll show you. I will see if I can post a picture, like I'll just screenshot it from Instagram and put it here, but it's him and another stitcher that essentially have them all completed. And it looks so good, and it is so big, but immediately what I thought when I saw that was quilt. I thought, oh my god, that would be a amazing centerpiece to put on a huge, I don't know, like 6x8 or whatever, a huge wall quilt for it to be functional. Because otherwise, that's going to be for me a huge piece that I would have to put on a wall. But if I turn it into a quilt, I will feel so much better with it. I can have it as decoration on the wall, or I can have it as decoration on a couch. So that is what is pushing me to continue with it as a complete set. But so far, this humongous project is still in the beginning phase. So, right, all this black. Look at all that black. And I am on the words. So, I just got my A and R in. Got the T working. But I feel much better about it. I feel more excited about getting this completed and turning it into something else besides wall art. So, I am happy with that. I have not worked on it since... I haven't worked on it since January. So, it definitely would have to be a dedicated piece for me to pull out likely after September, like September or October, to go with Halloween vibes, even though I love to stitch on Halloween stuff all throughout the year. Alright, next one here. Ooh, this one I think of as my New Year bag, because these 3 projects that are in here I started in the beginning of the year. Let's see, the first one was a gift from my mom, and it is my first kit. It was my first kit, and after that I got like 5 more kits. So I have to blame my mom for starting the curiosity about getting a cross stitch kit going. This one is a landscape. I don't really, it didn't really have a name with it. Let's see. It's gonna be real crazy. But this is kind of what it, I'm like seeing this, that little itty bitty picture. I'll try to take a picture and put it in. Is what it is. But then I'll pull this up here. And it's not that big, but it is this. And so far, maybe if I put it the other way, that is what I had worked on. Really what it is a boat. Worked on the boat, worked on the water, and that's pretty much it. The boat and the water. I did this in January. That's the only time I've worked on it. Thankfully, it came with the thread, and the thread is DMC. So I'm very happy about that. Next project that I have here, and I feel like I'm going to have to learn to take them out of their hoops. So this one is Cinderella from the Fairy Tale Dresses from Brook's bookstore. And I enjoy them. I want to do all of them. I literally want to do all of them. I love Disney, and I especially love the Disney princesses. And this one I started for Allison's birthday sale with Cross Stitch the Globe. And I started 2 for her. And since her favorite Disney princess is Cinderella, so then I decided to start Cinderella as well. So this is this one. I mean, there's a decent amount. I got a good amount. I think I've got pretty much the bodice done except for a few stitches. And it's just working on that skirt. And I am doing it on raw opal linen. which gives it that extra glittery look, and I like that. I think it'll look nice. But I enjoy it. I enjoy this, and I know I'm going to enjoy doing all the dresses because I love, like I said, love the Disney princesses. I love fashion, and Brook's bookstore did an amazing job with all of them. So I would like to have them all. That is that one. And then the third project in here, I'm making sure I don't have anything else, is I've been calling it the Disney Princess Silhouette. And it is a project. I'm just going to bring it out of the hoop because I don't want it to just get indented. It is going to be a long-term project as well. But essentially, it's a lot of the Disney princesses, but just their silhouettes, so their figure in black. And what is colored is the background. And the background setting is characteristic of what that movie or what that princess entails. So the one, I start on the top right for this one, and I started with Rapunzel. So, let's see. I'm going to just fold this in half and in quarters, so that way not a lot of the light comes through. This project is my first project experiencing confetti, and it's not even like terrible confetti, it's just lots of little stitches. Oh yeah, and I'm doing this, is it 2/1? I think I'm doing this like 2/1 full cross. Itty bitty, and there's itty bitty, but then it's actually going to be kind of big. So, again, I like working on it. Last time I pulled this out, probably in March. So, like you hear all of us say, we would love to pull these out and work on all of them. So that one's going to be a long-term project. It'd be nice to get Rapunzel done at least. But priorities are priorities. We'll just see what we can get through in my lifetime. Alright, we have that, and then this one, I'm just pulling things out as I go. Okay. This one's a whip, but it's one that I've shown before, and some people have had like strong thoughts about what I should do with it, but I know that I'm gonna be redoing it because I'm not happy with the way that I did the conversion. So this is inspired from, or essentially I'm trying to do Pretty Python by Needle Lot Designs, and hers is naturally in blue, and it is completely gorgeous, and I want to do it in blue as well, but I got so excited because of the colors that were there. I wanted to do them in different colors, and I thought of Black Dahlia, which is one of the threads from Pirate Robin, and it's this black and red thread, and I thought that was going to look really cute on the python, and I did a conversion, and this humbled me and had me respect designers because conversions are harder than they look. I tried to convert some of the pieces of the flower, but to me, right, like that center flower and the stem are way too warm compared to the Black Dahlia. And so I am likely going to be taking that apart, putting in some more muted colors that would coincide with the Black Dahlia. And then my other thing is that this fabric is way too stark in contrast. There's too much contrast. I don't like that it's so white. I want it to be a little more muted. I would like to like tea dye it or coffee dye it. And that's been my plan with it. But it's just been hanging out here. And because I had all those thoughts about it, it's been in timeout. I don't think I've worked on it for the past year. I was originally going to try and do something about it originally sometime in May, but other projects, surprise starts, gift starts, and projects took up my time. So I do want to get back to it at some point. It is currently in timeout. I haven't UFO'd it. It's just needing to pick out those stitches that I think are way too bright and tea dyeing it. And then we can move forward with life and just see where it goes. So that is my pretty python. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to put, so these were all the bags that I have found in my box. I'm just going to put them all in here. So that way I am not picking up a huge mess. So give me a couple minutes. Okay. And now we're going to go to the bags. So in this bag, I have two projects. First one I'm going to show is You Belong to Me, also kind of known as the Egyptian sampler from Long Dog Sampler. And it is on the fabric Fall in Love by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And it is a beautiful fabric. So, right, if I pull it up, super pretty fabric. And I cannot wait to see what it all looks like. But this year, I essentially got that whole, I've gotten that whole top row done last year and beginning of this year. And I'm starting to work on the second part. So got those little emos, got that palm tree, got the big bird with the fish in its mouth. Those are the areas I worked on this year. But this is my first Long Dog sampler. And I don't know when I'll get it done, but I want to get it done. Originally, there were two big projects that I wanted to complete by this year. Likely it won't happen, but at least I'll get some progress. And it was this one and Stone Roses. Whew. Those were my goals of the big projects. Granted, goals change, and my goal is still to get them as close to done as I can by the end of the year. I just know that it likely won't happen, but I'll be pretty close, or I'll have at least 50%, which is amazing considering how big the projects are. So we'll keep on trucking. And then this one is like, this for me is like a love child. I cannot wait. Like the day that this project is done, I will probably cry. And I will immediately hanging it up on my wall and will want to stare at it every single day. So this is the project that I mentioned where the designs, the original artwork is by Hannah Alexander, and she does an amazing job with her art. It's very Art Nouveau, bright, very beautiful flowing like dresses and outfits. And she does a mixture of original art and fandoms. And I am an absolute like Sailor Moon fan. I don't think I'm considered diehard because I have not submerged myself in that world as much as other people, but I absolutely love it. I've loved it since I was in grade school. I still enjoy it to this day. And I bought all the patterns for the Sailor Princesses that Hannah Alexander designed and Ashley May from Make It Pink created into cross-stitch patterns. And I hopefully have already put up here what the collage looks like of all 10 of them. And my goal, because the original designs, they are a full body design of each of the princesses in their gowns. I took them and just turned them almost into a profile picture, which is essentially copying a mug that Hannah Alexander had. So she, creates the designs, mainly does it for cosplay, has books on it, but she also had prints, stickers, mugs, stationery. And at the time, unfortunately, with shipping and stuff in the US, we can't order from her. But before we could, and I got a mug of the 10 Sailor Princesses around it. That was the inspiration that got me for this cross stitch pattern. So I designed them to all fit on this piece of fabric. I got it custom cut at an LNS. I put in the basic background stitching of how big each of them was going to be. So I know that all 10 are gonna fit. At least. I got that part. And then it was just a matter of working on them. And I've got 2 done. Stitched. Mars still needs back stitching, but Mercury is done. They need beading. But the beading I want to be able to do once I'm a couple of columns away, because I don't want a hoop to essentially break the beads. But here, so the first one I worked on was Mercury. She is my favorite one of all the 10 sailors. Like, that's who I identify myself with. And like I said, like, all of that is back stitching. This project is so heavy on back stitching. I'm just hoping I'm showing you guys correctly. I could barely see. And that's as far as I go. I usually go to where mid-thigh for them. And then all those little empty holes on her bodice are for beads. So that's Mercury, and then this one's Mars. And I started doing over there, you could probably see on the top right, the back stitching for those roses. And oh, was it kicking my butt. Like, I know that at the end, all that back stitching is gonna be worth it, but right now it is a slog. And I just need to, like, do it, right? Just suck it up and do the back stitching little at a time. The next one that is up to be stitched on is Venus. That one is a goal to be completed this year. And that's gonna come here next to Mars. And with that one, I look back at my stitching record. Mars took me 5 months to complete, which for me was, I was like, okay, that's kind of fast, but I was much more dedicated. And Mars definitely took me like 10, 11 months, and I still haven't even done the back stitching. And so the fact that I want to do all 10, I need to get much faster. And I don't know if I need to start, I can't really start back stitching as I go, because the project themselves on the pattern doesn't have the background filled in. I fill it in after so that it does look, it looks covered just like the mug does. But yeah, that is my, like, that's my baby that I am trying to get done. I know it's gonna take a long time, but that one is kind of like my pride and joy, and I do hope that I get it completed in the next 5 years, 6 years. It is a work in progress. All right, so moving on. In this one, let's see what we've got. Mainly we got one. Yeah, because I had some other ones here. This one I'll put a picture up. It is a gift for a friend, and it is a very adorable Mothman. I've got a very small start on it. Just a little bit. But I think it's going to be a really quick stitch because it's only 4 colors. Granted, they're all black and shades of gray. And this is on Atomic Ranch London Fog 28 count. And I wanted it because similar to the picture, it is modeled enough that it looks kind of like the moon. And I thought that that was going to be perfect because I do want to do a similar finish to what the model looks like, where it's essentially a circle, as if Mothman is on the moon. So that is my one project there. I have another one that's like ready to be like a kitted up project, but that is not what today's about. I will show it whenever it gets started. You're gonna close, there you go. Or I'll show it in the beginning of the year because I'm hoping it gets started at some point. Okay, onwards we go. Here we have two projects as well. These two I got to work on in the beginning of the month, so I was really happy with that. This one is Shake Senora by Ornika, and it is an homage to Beetlejuice when Lydia is dancing up on the staircase. And so really the majority of the fill-in is in the middle where Lydia is floating with the spotlight. And then after that, it should be easier stitching, getting through them, but I'm just working center start and getting through all that light color. This is a hand-dyed by Rolanda fabric. It is a 32 count linen raven. And I like that because it's slightly mottled, right? It's like a dark gray with some black. I think she's going to turn out cute. I got so excited when I saw this one because ours Ornika put it out when the Beetlejuice #2 came out, and I, in my mind, thought that I was going to have it done by the time I went to see Beetlejuice. That didn't happen, but we're still enjoying it. And my goal is to have, I do have a few movie related projects that I would like to do, and I do have a room down here where I've got some movie posters up. I have a TV there. I kind of use it as like a gym / entertainment center, and I just want to continue putting things up there that are like movie related. So that's where it's going to go once I'm done. And then this next one is Beauty and the Beast by Autumn Lane Stitchery. So it is one of their mermaid patterns. And I started this one last year. And this is one that I ideally would like to get done this year as well. I don't think it will happen, but I did get a lot of work on it. I'm not kidding. I think I got a little over 900 stitches done in one day on it, and I was very proud of myself. All right. So this is it. I essentially worked on the dragon's body. Like, that sea dragon is so big. I don't realize how big it is until you're stitching on it. But I know it's going to look good. The fabric is a 28 count linen mystery by Oak Crown Studios. And I can't wait until it's done as well. Autumn Lane Stitchery is one of the designers that I really enjoy. I completed their Dark Queen of the Earth. I did their Winter Woodland Cell. And I have all kitted up the Dark Queen of the Seas. So, and I have plenty of other patterns from them. They are a favorite of mine, and I want to continue working on their patterns. I just want to get Beauty and the Beast done first. Okay, next one in here. This is my very first mandala. It is not a Chatelaine. This one is by Totu Stitch, and it is called Festive Forever. It is a circus themed mandala, and I absolutely fell in love with it when I saw her do it. Granted, she works on different mandalas, and she just came out with a like skeleton garden one, so like 2 skeletons together on each corner, and then another one was like a train, different train motifs with a teddy bear on each side and a town. So it's kind of like a train town. They're really cute. I'm very tempted to get the train one, surprisingly, with the teddy bear, but I already have. I, again, bought a lot of her things, and I need to get them done before I try to buy any more, unless something screams for me to get it. So, here we go. Huge piece of fabric. This one is Blush by Zweigart. It is a 32 count Lugana. And this is my start. I was really happy with it. This was the first time that I worked on Algerian eyelets, and they weren't too bad. I had to do what like Elizabeth from Thread Gremlins did, which was put an arrow to say where the top is. So that way I make sure that I'm cohesive in my stitching and also know where I'm going. Because it all looks the same until you get into some of the other stitches. And I know this year, like, right, it's end of June, but there are, I think, 3 other mandalas that I wanted to start this year. And we'll see if I push some of them back versus if I go through with it. So it won't be my last mandala that you see. Okay, next up, here we've got, how many? I think we've got 2 at least in here. Yes. First one we have is Witchcraft by the Primitive Hair. This is the first pattern I bought by the Primitive Hair, and I really liked it. Though I know that I wanted to do the black in another color, another kind of variegated floss color. And I found it. And then I found this fabric, and I absolutely loved it. It is a printed fabric. This one, where did I get you? I don't remember where. Oh, there you go. It is a fabric flare. And it is called October 31st. Because it is a newsprint of October 31st. And this is my start. Let's see. That's my start. I decided to do the phases of the moon in black and glow-in-the-dark white. So that'll be cool. And I think all the spots that are white in this project will be in the glow-in-the-dark thread. And then my variegated is a really cute eggplant or aubergine by hand-dyed by Rolanda. And I got like a huge amount of it. Because I knew that I was going to do a lot of work on, or I needed a lot of skeins for this project. So I'm excited for that one. This one I started it at the end of May. That I remember. It was before my birthday. So I got that one done. And then the next one I have is the Stitch for Pride sale. And it is mostly up to date. I just have to finish this month's, but I've been so busy with my my gift stitches that I'm like halfway through with June's, so I'm still working on it. But here they are. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's, I think that'll be okay. So this black and white one is January. The blue one's February. The dragon here is March. This thread's April. That mandala is May. And then June is going to be kind of like a comb. A very beautiful comb. And I was super excited because the thread I follow, or I'm subscribed to Night Stalker Calling's thread pack. And in her mystery thread pack, they have 3 different colors. And this month being Pride Month, they dedicated their colors to a pride flag. And the one that I'm using, I think appropriately so for this project, is the, as they call it, the transsexual flag. So, right? Very characteristic. And I think June is turning out like beautiful. The colors on it, oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. Like, that is what that yarn is doing, that thread. So I just need to finish it, and then in the top middle part it's some black work, so some back stitching. I'm excited to get to do that as well. But I've been doing a pretty good job at keeping up with it. I just need to find time, likely this weekend, because the one project I have to do, Endorphine, that's the one I'm going to be focusing on tonight and tomorrow. After that, I think Saturday I can finish up the June one. But I have been keeping up with it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what D20 Stitches comes up with for the rest of the year. Alright. On we go. I've got 3 more bags. 3 more bags. And then we move forward. Okay, this one that's deciding to come apart of me is Mermaids of the Deep Blue. This is a Mirabilia. Another common stitcher or designer that I love is Nora Corbett. And so you'll see a lot of her patterns too. So this one is Mermaids of the Deep. I got to put in a good amount of work on them in May for Mermaid. And so they are done on the called for fabric, which is a Amsterdam blue Belfast linen. Let's bring this out. So this is what I've got done. Which is better than before, because last time I only had like 8 stitches. So here at least I've got an arm done, her back, and the hair. Is going to be, this is the, whoop. I was going to say, that needle minder is looking a little funny. Okay, this is the whole piece. I'm always excited when I get to work on Mirabilias. They're always nice. Alright, that one, and then the next one is another Mirabilia. Whoop. Just making sure, there you are. It's like looking for the fabric. And this one is Gypsy Queen. I started last year. And I haven't worked on her this year. I was trying to see if I can work on her in May, but the mermaids took priority. But she is my only queen? I think she's my only queen pattern that I have. It's one of those where like I know my mortality, like that I am not going to live forever. So there are certain projects that I know that I'm not going to complete. So right, I'm not going to do any of the seasonal queens. I don't think I'm going to do any of their queens that Mirabilia has. Gypsy Queen's the one that I really liked out of all of them. But I want to do all the, like I would love to do a lot of her mermaids and a lot of her mythological girls. Like I love the Shakespearean ones that she's got. I love the geishas that she has. So some of those other ones I definitely want to do. But of the queens, she's the only queen that I actually want to stitch. Alright. And so this is called for fabric. Take a chocolate by Witch Elf would be it. And this is what I did. I essentially worked on her bodice. I just haven't put any more stitches than I did about a year ago. And I don't know if when I pull it out, I would start working on the bottom, work on the top. Depends on where the mood takes me. But that is her. I think those were all the projects in this bag. Yep. Okay. Keep on going. Do I have anything on this one? I do have something on this one. Okay. This one's not in a bag, which I go, that's so sad. You need to be in a bag. It is Fish Want Me. And there you are. This one was by Descent Stitch. I absolutely fell in love with this design after Raven from, I want to say she used to be Gothy Blogs, but I think she's calling herself Goblin Goth Stitches? I'm completely butchering that. But she recommended to me because I told her that I love mermaids, and they stated, oh, have you seen the pattern that is the head of a fish but the body of a lady? And I went, no, I want it. So I started it for Mermaid. Very beginning, in the middle, very beginning stitch. And I thought that this was such an appropriate fabric. It is by, give me a second. I see her stuff all the time. It is called Mermaid Tears. And I'll have to post her name up I'll have to post her name up because I can't remember. I'm so sad. I can't remember what the person's name is because I've bought a lot of fabrics from her. But I will put it up there. I love the different modeling that is in this one, and I think it'll be perfect for what that pattern is requiring. So that is that one. Goodness. And I'm going to put her in a bag here that has a bunch of kitted up projects. I think it's a very cute Witch Garden one. But it doesn't, now it has a whip, but it only had kitted up projects. Weird. Okay. And last but certainly not least is, this is the one project bag that was a gift. And it was a gift that I won at the auction in the Queen City Stitch Retreat for the complete kit for Cat from Whittier Stitches Periwinkle Mermaid. And I knew that I was going to start this one when Mermaid hit, and I did. And I have a small start. I just started with her hair, but a small start is better than nothing. And she beautifully kitted this up with all the DMC, all the beads, the fabric, and I've shown it before, but I love showing it. She gave mock-ups for different skin variations, and she even included the thread for any of the variations that you wanted. So I am doing the darkest skin color. And the fabric that she put was Mystic Fabrics, Dark Reflection, 28 count Lugana. And this is it. And my little start is right here. There's just some wisps of hair. Not much. Not much, but at least I can say that I started it. And I did it for Mermaid, which I was happy about. Alright. And then, I can't believe this is the last project, but I guess this is the last project, is a cross-stitch kit. My second cross-stitch kit that I've started. And it is Stars. It's a Mayerka kit. And it is so beautiful. And then I found out when I was opening this kit that it has a companion piece. That's called Bubbles. Look at that! So good. But I was like, knowing me, I feel like they're both very similar, and I would probably just want to do one. And the first one that I saw was Stars. And I said, okay, I will keep that one, and that's the one that I'll start. So it is on, I want to say 28 count navy blue Ada. And that's the one that I've kept. And I am just making sure that I show you. Okay, it is this way. I will bend it a little bit. But that is what I've gotten. Just kind of the edge of her shoulder, down her arm. Again, a start is a start. So, definitely when Mermaid comes back next year, I'll work on them. But I'm also hoping I get to work on them beforehand. Right, so that way I can continue giving them some love. Those are my whips. Not as bad as I thought. I do love them all. The one that I know I have put in timeout for good is it UFO'd? I don't think it's UFO'd, but it's definitely in timeout. Until I figure out what to do with the rock. It's the rock. It's the Black Water Siren Sal. And I have a beginning start on it. But when I saw the last picture of it, I didn't like it at all. I don't like the fact that that rock is empty. And essentially it's just a fabric that shows. That's my dilemma, is figuring out what do I want to do with that fabric. A viewer did give me an idea, and I am liking it more and more, of putting in some motifs, like muted into the rock, so that way it looks like something's something's in the rock covering it, but that way I'm not just filling the rock like with just straight cross stitches. So then I was thinking, okay, what kind of motifs should I do? And Allison from Cross Stitch the Globe is doing a Quaker piece, which I've never done Quakers. And it is a piece that involves mandala Quaker motifs, but they're all like Halloween horror based. And that is what I want for this, because it is supposed to be like dark sirens. There's, you know, a little bit of that horror, death, goth feel to it. So I wanted those types of motifs in the rock, and I thought that would be a great one to consider. So I'm trying to consider if I want to get that pattern from her. They just showed it on their last WIP Parade. And then there are other couple ones. Like I would love to do maybe like an octopus or a squid that is in the design, but it's muted, right? It's kind of, you have to look to see what it actually is versus just thinking it's shading on the rock. So that's my thought of what I'm going to do with that one. I just need to think about it a lot and come up with a plan before I try to pull it out. So that's my one project that is in timeout for a long time. All right, guys. If you want, I would love to hear some interaction, as in which project did you think is one that you're like, oh my gosh, Sadie, you need to get done like this year? Or was there one that was your favorite? I would also like to hear, is there any goal projects that you guys have that you want to complete? And I'm always a sucker for learning about new projects. I've shown you kind of what my style is. I love fancy ladies. I love Halloween based. I'm really not much of a Quaker sampler prim person. I've already done a sampler. I have one kitted up, and those two will likely be the only ones I do, because I am done with just doing alphabets for fun. It's something that I feel like I've been wanting to create a bingo card where it's like, have you done a Quaker? Have you done a bird? Have you done a sampler? Type of things, right? Of like those classic cross stitch patterns. But then obviously I don't want to hold myself to them, because there are some of those that I'm just not attracted to. But I can now say I have done a sampler, and I don't need to do 20 samplers, but I want to do 20 mermaids. I want to do 20 pumpkins. I would rather do all those things. So I would love to hear if you think that there's a pattern out there that would be great to add to my collection. So I hope you guys enjoy the parade, enjoyed my ramblings, and I will be back to give you an update, I would say possibly next week, kind of make it as my typical stitching time. I will be probably going crazy because I've got family coming up in 2 weeks, and I need this place cleaned up. And that did not happen this week. So that'll be next week. All right, guys. I hope you're enjoying the sun and that you stayed cool during this last heat wave that we had. Hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you later.